Hey everyone, welcome to another special year-end edition of Heroic Nonsense. Let's jump right into it as I give you my first impressions and top 5 of the Transformers and G.I. Joe toys coming out in 2025. Coming in at number 5, Leader Class Megatronus aka The Fallen, coming from the upcoming Age of the Primes line. Originally I wasn't planning to put this in my top 5 because I thought this was simply a retool of the recent Megatron mold, though I did really like the look of the bot mode. Watching a video of it on Hasbro Pulse made me reconsider, and now I'm very excited as it appears to be an entirely new mold, looks nice and big in line with the more recent scales like Studio Series 86 Optimus and Ultra Magnus, has great colors and accessories with the flames, and both modes look really cool and Cybertron-y. It also has a nice Tarn feel which should pair nicely with this. Before we get to number 4, a few first impressions starting with the Classified Cobra Claw with Pilot. I always liked the Claw as a mini vehicle and looks great from this shot from Hasbro Pulse, with all that detail which will pair nicely with the flight pod so we can recreate some more of the 87 movie intro. Figure looks cool as well, love the helmet which has been used in 1/18 scale with the most recently released fangs. Based on the Starduster package art, it looks like we'll get the Cobra fangs with the male versions of these figures. I really want to get this G1 Takara Tomy Missing Link Sunstreaker just for the figure itself and not for the Missing Link part, as I never had Sunstreaker and would like a copy as close to the original as possible, which this looks like it is. Still on the fence though, as the price tag is pretty steep at 85 USD. Alright, clocking in at number 4 for me is none other than the Aerial Bots and Superion. We've seen 3 out of the 5 so far for pre-order, including Silverbolt, Air Raid, and Slingshot. We already know that Silverbolt will have the bulk of Superion's body, which uses the Legacy Menasor type frame, which I feel from a vehicle perspective doesn't work as well with a plane because 1, it's blocky, and 2, it will create a different never before seen look for Silverbolt, though still a nice innovative way to include the extra parts versus G1 and still keeps the overall look of the plane. However, I do think that Superion frame looks really good from the initial images, which can be built without any of the other 4 aerial bots. Useful until the entire team will be released. As for Air Raid and Slingshot, I heard some don't like the bot modes. I actually think they look really good from these Hasbro images, though not so sure about the plane modes. I'm interested to see how they look and scale next to the other Seekers. Right now they're looking a bit too small and unrealistic for my taste, but to be honest, everyone would basically be getting this for Superion, and the planes will still be fun for playability. What do you guys think of the aerial bots so far? Do you like the use of the Menasor tooling? While we're on the topic of planes and Seekers, we are finally getting the last of the Coneheads we needed, Ramjet. I have the original and always loved this look and color scheme, so really excited to get him since we missed him the first time around. I will definitely be reviewing him with all his brothers in the new year. Number 3 is G.I. Joe Classified Trench Viper and the Cobra Modular Fortification. I'm totally excited about this whole thing. The original Alley Viper was always one of my favorite Vipers. That mold was amazing. And like the Transformer Seekers, I can go on and on buying troop builders of these guys. Even better though is the color scheme they used. He looks incredible in this urban SWAT type camo and will look incredible with the other versions to date. And to go along with him, we now have our first classified base, which is a welcome and much needed addition to the vehicle playsets and will look incredible in dioramas and displays and will be fun for playability as well. And because it's modular, there will be countless ways to use this. It comes with some great accessories as well, like those sandbags. Only question is, do I get any more of this one or wait to see if it will be connectable with future playsets? This is definitely a big one for me. Before we get to number 2, I thought I'd quickly go through the classified lineup to date I am most excited about, starting with the Saw Viper. This guy is shaping up to look like one of the winners of 2025 figure-wise. Updates the original nicely and just looks so amazing. Only thing though is that I wish he would have come with the original huge heavy machine gun. I love Dial Tone as a figure, concept, and character. This is a must-have for the G.I. Joe ranks. He looks perfect from face sculpt to dress. I used to love pairing him with Mainframe, so here's looking forward to a Mainframe sometime in the near future. I don't believe I ever had the original Leatherneck, but always liked the character and figure. He's going to be a big one, that's for sure. I think they did a really good job from the Hasbro images released so far. Xandar is one of the other figures I'm really looking forward to. Growing up, I didn't care as much for the Dreadnoks as I did for the other Cobras. However, I'm loving what they've done with them for the classified line and can't wait to complete the sibling triumvirate with this more muted but still awesomely 80s character. I do have the original Heavy Duty and loved playing with him and his crazy missile launching system as a kid. As an adult, I care a bit less for this figure and his missile system and will likely wait until he goes on sale, as I assume my kids will see him and totally want to get him in stores. I do like that his missiles can be used as a shoulder mounted version, so in the end, we'll probably pick him up. Which classified figures are on your wish list for 2025? I bet you can guess who number 2 is. That's right, the Studio Series 86 Constructicons, or as my boys like to call them, the Destructicons. We have the Takara Unite Warriors version, which is prominently and proudly displayed in our collection. However, it's completely out of scale with the new line of combiners, so it will be nice to have this scaled down version for the boys to play with and for our collection and display. Scrapper and Bone Crusher have been released for pre-order. So far, these two figures look great and definitely remind me of their Combiner Wars versions in many ways. As for Devastator himself, the mold looks fantastic from what we've been shown and scales nicely with the other combiners, even being apparently slightly taller. You can see that they're really going for that 86 movie look, which is great. Interested in seeing how they'll handle long haul this time, as I'd prefer a version closest to the original look. The Hasbro team has committed to these dates for release and making sure everyone gets a chance to buy one, but I'd still make sure you're on the ball for those pre-orders. I almost missed out on the first two. And on the subject of combiners, we're slowly getting to completion of the G2 Stunticons. I can't wait for this guy, colors look spot on and will be a fun one to add to our G2 collection. I wanted to take a few extra seconds to look at the upcoming primes from the Age of the Primes line that we've seen, starting with Prima Prime. Wasn't sure about him at the start, but seeing him in his colors and scale, as well as the size of his alt mode, which looks bigger than I suspected, makes me much more excited to get him, so I'll definitely be looking forward to reviewing him. Should look great in display with some of the other G1 Cybertronian cartoon-styled figures and the IDW-inspired releases. Solus Prime in bot mode looks great and will probably pick her up at some point, though I didn't pre-order her. Still not sure about the vehicle mode, so I think this one I'll have to see in person first. Might be a fun one for the boys though. And can you guess what number 1 is? It's the G.I. Joe Classified HasLab Rattler, which is supposed to be released in 2025. I'm not even going to get into all the details here as there are way too many, but this is for sure the biggest and most exciting release to date for me in 2025. I mean, come on, the Rattler is so iconic and one of the coolest G.I. Joe vehicles, arguably the coolest, and Wild Weasel looks amazing, not to mention the other bonus figures. I still can't believe we're getting these vehicles in this scale. In the meantime, be sure to see my review in early 2025 of the HasLab Dragonfly, which we haven't even opened yet. Shh, it's one of the presents for the boys. And a few final first impressions before we wrap up, starting with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2-pack crossover. I'm totally getting these for my boys, but they do look like lots of fun and I'm sure will be as fun to review. I'm also finally getting Cosmos, which we missed first time around. Not one of my favorites from the original mini-bots, but looks like a great update. Too many Bumblebees in our collection, including the cartoon version, the Cliff Jumper mold version, and the Goldbug version using this specific mold, but I can't pass up having the original G1 VW Bug Bumblebee, so gotta do what I gotta do. As for some more Classified Joes, a lot of pipeline reveals including some of my favorites like Law & Order, Blowtorch, Frag Viper, Darklon, Crystal Ball, and Footloose to name a few, as well as the hunt for the Mass Device build, which will be interesting. Showing Nemesis Immortal here because I couldn't get one on pre-order, but my good buddy Weasel is kindly bringing one over for me straight from Australia when he's here in spring for some upcoming shenanigans, which will be highlighted on his channel at Weasel's Clubhouse in the new year and a bit on here. Can't wait to get this guy finally in our hands in 2025. And finally Overcharge, which I got an amazing deal on and will be here for early 2025. I wasn't planning on getting him, but the Blitzwing mold looks very cool in these colors and I couldn't pass up such a great deal. So that's it my friends for 2024. Holidays are upon us and the new year is right around the corner. So this is the last long video until 2025 for me. I may have some shorts here and there, but make sure to be back here in January for a fresh new start with tons to explore. Happy holidays and happy new year, and thanks for helping make this past 2024 YouTube journey an incredible one. See you in 2025. And remember, it's all such heroic nonsense in the end.
Transform!